Fellas, will is such a, I think, a cliche, and it can be overstated, but I think it was demonstrated tonight. You saw the competitive spirit and the will of both sides, and I'm just wondering what you're struck by in terms, Chris, of what it took to win this game for Clemson.
It took everything. More than they thought they had, probably, Scott. We saw all night guys on both sides just giving everything they had. Many players out of the game hurt, back in the game. You know they're trying to summon up all the will and all the guts they had, and they really pushed and tested each other like we hoped they would. And it's by far the best semifinal game we've had in the playoff era, by far.
Yeah, it was a great game and everything, Scott. You follow the sport. It's everything you hope for. I mean, on paper, people all week, who do you like? Who's going to win? Who's favored? It was like, I don't know. I really didn't know. And I've never, Scott, in my life called a game where you get done with meetings with one group of coaches and you think, they're pretty confident. They don't think they know they're going to win. And then a couple hours later, you go to the other meetings and you walk out of that meeting and you think, man, they know they're going to win. So that was a confident team on both sides, and it really played out that way, where they played with confidence and were challenged for 4 quarters.
It's fun because both teams kind of motored through the regular season unchallenged, dominating opponents, and this was the first time they each had to dig that deep, and man, it was fun.
When we get to the highlight a bit later, obviously there were a number of calls, and those play a part in this story as it's told. But I think for the sport and for this game, I'm just happy that it ended up with these two quarterbacks who were linked together as the 1 and 2 ranked players in the class coming out together. Each had a chance with the ball in his hands to lead the team to a score. And ultimately, it comes down to that. A play is made, and then ultimately it's unfortunate if you're Ohio State that the play is not made. But it comes down to that, and it feels fitting given the class of both of these teams. Did you feel the same way, guys?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to imagine anybody in college ball at the moment being more trusted than Trevor Lawrence in that position, Scott. Again, 25 months since he's lost a game. He goes to 25 and now as a starter in college football. But we hadn't seen him, Kirk, in that position yet. And that's what was so thrilling, to have him be tested, be challenged, and then come through in that way.
And in some ways, you go back to the beginning of the year, Scott, where he turned the ball over, threw a lot of interceptions.
Right.
Admittedly said that he pressed, tried to live up to the hype. But he said that adversity, people criticizing him, was the first time he'd been through that. Almost symbolic of tonight. Targeting call, gets knocked down, checks out. We don't know if he's going to come back, comes back, and then he starts running the football. He carried it when it was 16, 17, 18 times. And that part of his game, I think, was the first time we've seen him basically put his team on his back. And ETN can't get established, and he found a way to win this game. It's just another chapter, I think, in his legacy at Death Valley and the way he leads a team.
The confetti's still fresh on the ground there, and the celebration is still ongoing. But if we could just pivot to just a first blush thought at what we'll get in a 1-3 matchup between LSU and Clemson alone, the two, I should say, remaining unbeaten that get a chance to face off against one another. What's your sense beyond the obvious Burrows storyline, going back and trying to finish this off in New Orleans for a storybook end to his journey, but beyond his Heisman campaign and a chance to win in his last game there in Louisiana, what's the sense of what the storyline will be?
Well, it's the ultimate test for the team that's won 29 in a row and is trying to do something crazy. 3 titles in 4 years, not supposed to be possible in modern football. I mean, Nebraska did it in the 90s, Notre Dame did it in the Rockne era. Not supposed to be able to do it the way they've done it, but ETN gets to go back to his home state. It'll be an unhinged environment in the build-up for that game in New Orleans, and I can't wait.
Man, I don't know if I can wait that long. I cannot wait to watch these two teams go head-to-head. Scott, this LSU offense, it's the best college offense that I've covered in 24 years. It's not even close as far as the way they're executing with Joe Burrow and all those receivers and the weapons. It gives Clyde Edwards-Helaire time to recover and be okay with a hamstring. And it gives Clemson time with Brent Venables to try to come up with a plan to try to slow down Burrow, something that very few have, I think Kevin Steele and Auburn gave him a little bit of a challenge, but nobody else has. So cannot wait to see that matchup with the quarterback play and the skill all over the field. And in that atmosphere and in that city, the buildup will be phenomenal.
It will, and I'm smiling as I see Coach Venables smiling. You obviously you enjoy the heck out of this moment, and then I imagine before the sweat on the back of his neck is dried, he'll be thinking about what it's going to take to slow that offense down in their home state down there in Louisiana. It'll be quite a scene, guys. Travel well. Happy New Year in between. What a thrill to watch this game, and a phenomenal job on the call as always.
Thank you, Scott.
Scotty, you're coming down to New Orleans now, right? You going to clear the deck with all the other responsibilities and come on down and join us?
You know, you got that kind of weight here, man. You might be able to get me on. You might be able to get me down. I think I'll probably be sitting right here in this spot talking to you. I'll see what we can pull off.
We know a few places. We know a few places in New Orleans you need to visit.
You're coming. You're in.
I appreciate the invite, boys. Be well, all right? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.